Welcome back. We have officially cooled off from what was a very hot Dust 2 match between Dogs of War and Mythic, and now we are on to the next. It is iNTACT versus Royal. It's going to be a battle of the attrition. I think the map is Mirage, so that is going to be interesting. We're straight to the knife wrap, so we can go ahead and jump into in-game while we talk about this matchup really quickly. Now, we have seen iNTACT play a couple times. It is a pretty fresh roster, and I see a new addition to the team, and it looks like it's Rugrat. That's a great pickup. I like that.
Big fan of Rugrat. He's also my favorite player to listen to in Dead Talk.
Yeah, he's a troll, isn't he? Yeah, very.
He is a troll. Very entertaining when I'm observing games of Dead Talk as a possibility to just give the occasional listen into what Rugrat's doing after he's dead. He has himself a good time. But I'm excited to see how this roster performs. Devine's a player who I've taken note of for about a year now, actually, looking back on it. First took note of him last year in the run-up to Mad City, and he's always impressed fairly well. It's going to be Zeppo leading the charge for Royal, though, on the other side, trying to get out this new-look Royal roster. Popping out of the apartments and straight into the crosshairs of Rugrat, who's now tapped down 2. He escapes back towards Catwalk as well, and so they're getting out of this relatively unscathed. There's the first kill to fall, and the bomb's now going to transition to a plant. Will start to come in, but they're still losing bodies. The T is not able to get on towards site clean, but they've turned this on its head. It's all just Reki, who's tucked up, aggressive, and tries to go for the fight and loses his life as a result. So Royal, it was looking really hairy there for a moment, but it's recovered nicely, and they take through the pistol round.
Yeah, it was shaped quite well by the Royal side. Now, iNTACT, actually, sorry, not iNTACT, Royal. I'm a big fan of this roster as well. You know, Zeppa's kind of like the X-Factor player. You don't really know much about him, right? Like, we've seen him compete in Advanced. We've seen him compete in, you know, things like FBLC and Rank G and things like that. And he's shown, you know, really good performances. But now he's with the big dogs, right? Joshua T, the godfather of many top pro players, including Ethan Ye, a couple examples, and now he has Tex as well under his radar, and B Wills, all players that are amazing. But now it's going to be an A hit, smokes and flashbangs raining in from above. Reki towards the firebox, gets Goomba stomped by B Wills, and it is a 5 versus 4.
That's just instant deletion, death from above right away, and you have to be thinking iNTACT are wondering, like, all right, how much do we throw at this? How much do we try for it? They've got forward positioning pretty much everywhere with Clone pulling back. I'm wondering whether they are going to attempt to take. That's a big couple of frags, though, for Rugrat. Okay, SMG goes to work, and now there's definitely opportunity back into it. The advantage brought back. They know Zeppo's position out towards jungle. That kill comes in. It's just going to be Rico. He's getting run down and mowed down.
Wow.
It's all Rugrat. 3 kills. What a retake out from iNTACT. I was wondering whether they were just going to save and try and keep what they had going into the next, and they just come back and blow it all up.
Yeah, it's not very often that you see yourself go blind and you come unblind and you just, oh, I got 2 kills. Rugrat going for the full blind spray, gets 2 kills in the CT retake. I like that. That's funny. That's awesome. But yeah, this is a bit of unlucky turnover here for Royal, as they have dropped an important round, and now their economy is not only reset, but possibly even double reset. So they're going to go ahead for the forced buy. It's going to be a bit of fumbling happening towards spawn, but it will be 2 AK-47s dropped over, and the three AK-47s dropped over, but one of them is Glass Cannon.
I think they're trying to play the game of who's going to hold the AKs. And ironically, it seems like no one wants to hold the AKs. They're juggling the AKs and the Deagles, right? To make sure that they're evenly distributed. I'm not quite sure why it took that long to figure out who's going to be picking up the guns. But they've eventually made the decision. So Royal just going to go right back to it. Try and throw it against the wall. Try and reclaim the momentum here. But this time, the iNTACT roster should be very ready for them. And it's looking like they're setting up for a B hit. And Clone has a pretty nice angle to start to catch them as they move in towards site. I actually really like this spot from Clone.
Yeah, it's really unpredictable. There's so many things that I don't really often see utilized. Like even the boost on bench gets you a really nice angle into halls as well. But Royal, now they're just going to go ahead and take whatever free space is given to them, starting with the underpass. And the bomb is towards upper B, so I do imagine they want to end up in that direction, especially now with 45 seconds left on the clock. They seem to still be lingering in that direction. And there's Tex right there applying some of the pressure on towards the A site when the time is ready. Actually, no, they're transitioning down towards lower. This is going to end to an A split.
Yeah, player just wormed his way towards ramp, and that's going to be all the difference here in their decision-making. They're making a little bit of movement towards B, but it's going to be sort of sniffed out here. The problem is getting back to the murder hole is a bit of a difficulty. Bool going to go aggressive, gets 2, but Rico finds the trade, and that's important. That bomb should be retrievable now. and it's kind of intact, locked out of sight. There is Devine in towards CT, who could find a frag. Not if he loses his head from his shoulders, though. It's trades all over, and Rico and Tech's going to come out on top with a bomb planted and a post-plant scenario as iNTACT try and get back into this round. Ooh, Clone nearly loses his life right away.
Yeah, this is also, yeah, this is a best case scenario for Royal because the 2 players with armor are still the ones that are alive in the post plant. So that was really well called out by Royal on the fly. Now it's a 2v2 retake. Texas' position is not yet compromised, although they do suspect he is in this direction. I'm not sure they expect 2.
There's the swing. They're looking for Rico. The smoke's going to go down to cover it off. So it's just Clone playing babysitter, and he will fulfill his duties nicely. Defuse comes through, round secured for iNTACT. They stave off the hero AKs in the force buy, and they do claim their second round. That's a critical one to find because now Royal are presumably going to have to take a save. A little bit of pistol upgrade, a little bit of armor behind it, but this should be a relatively easy round for iNTACT to see through. No 4 deagles, though. It's the deco.
Is that the term that we're going with now? The deco?
I mean, it's better when it's 5 deagles, and then it's the full deco. But
it's still a majority rule, though. It's still 4 deagles.
Yeah, deco.
Yeah, I like that. It's clean.
It has a nice ring to it.
It does. You know what the deco's biggest weakness is, Mike? A big green gun.
Big green gun will definitely do it. Josh RT's going for more, though. He'll get traded. That rifle's not retrievable either. They're trying to take space towards A, and bo1 says, no, none for you. I'm just going to retreat. Tex, he's got the bomb at least. He can get that. But he's also got 4 targets to find a minute 5 on the clock, Roy. This is slim.
Yeah, I don't even... Unless he, like, full sprints onto the B site, I don't even think he even gets the chance to plant the bomb. He's going to go for the deco, though. He wants to keep that deco alive. But yeah, 45 seconds left on the clock. I mean, I guess the only silver lining to this round is that, well, he is the element of surprise, and that's really it, right? As soon as he gets spotted, that element of surprise is over. But he has so much ground to traverse on the A side. He's been spotted now, and I think that's it.
Gotta imagine. He could. There's actually a window. There's a world where he can sneak in towards B and get himself a plant. Tries to take the fight, though, and bo1 shuts him down. Nice round for bo1. Couple of nice kills as they were moving on towards A, and he finds the last one there to cap it all off, put a little bow on it. So iNTACT now 3-1, and the buy is going to be coming out from Royal, but it's not going to be ideal. There's some limitations on utility. There's a glass cannon AWP on Josh RT. So there are some cracks here potentially to exploit. The question is, can that op get into early effect and just really tear open mid? It's getting baited down. Josh RT actually at 53 bullets blooming all around him. Somehow they don't connect with his head, so he will live to fight another day, and that's well done to keep the op alive. This is getting very messy towards mid. They've been pushed back behind the top mid smoke, and there'll be a second one to go down to secure it. And Rugrat's just sticking around to try and do some damage, hoping that someone's going to test the crosshair of his AUG so that he can find a frag.
I'm a big fan of the setup as well, because Devine is holding the contact for Rugrat, whose position is not visible from when they run out top middle. So they're going to be focused so much on Devine that Rugrat could just swing out from that position. And he's also supporting Devine from down below. So if they go... Oh, just a premature peek there from Rugrat. I would have liked him to be just a tiny little bit more patient. Still a minute left on the clock, but Royal's doing a good job retaking that mid slowly but surely. They lost a critical piece, though. Rugrat being alive was a massive pillar here in the defense towards middle.
Now you see how unsecured Devine is. And what it all comes down to is there's one molly tossed into connector from, I think, ramp, right? And that sets him into an insecure spot where he no longer feels comfortable just zoning in on mid. That sends Rugrat up on the peak, and he loses his life as a result. That's a nice big frag from Clone, who's got to find more, and they're coming through. It's a funnel, and the funnel is right into his bullets. However, there's been a trade elsewhere on the map, and now this gets a little hairy. There's a key in towards window, and it's just going to be a Reki who's got to clear out that window presence and still find his way on the site if he's going to have any hope, and he won't overcome the first hurdle. He will be dropped in turn, and it's going to be Royal on the board with their second, with 3 alive as well, Roy.
Yeah, this is an awkward economic decision here for iNTACT. They have 3 players in the buy territory, but they're going to go ahead and call it. So they are going to go for that buy. Double scope weapons and opt for Devine, who is the op and IGL for iNTACT. A role that's actually, you know, it was rare to see that before. It was really Fallen that popularized that op IGL. We didn't really see that too often until kind of Fallen started taking on the reins. But iNTACT, good utility exchange early on. Rico's already down to pretty low HP, and that's critical piece in the B aggression for Royal, so they've lost that as an option.
Ooh, he's looking for that nade onto Zeppa. Doesn't quite connect. Zeppa can slip away. And this utility usage early on, though, is very encouraging. It's going to maybe mask some of the limitations of the pistols, right? If you drop players low enough before you even see them, who cares if you have a pistol? One bullet will do it. That's what they're trying for. That's the ideal situation. And this is interesting. Rugrat's going to get aggressive, but Tex is holding for it. He's tucked right in the corner. Is Rugrat going to realize in time? He will indeed. Finds the frag, finds the rifle as well. There's the upgrade, but he's lost teammates. And so they're headed out on towards the A site. And if they isolate the bomb in towards ramp, that could be massive. But Josh RT wins out the duel against Reki, and it's Rugrat who's tucked up into Palace. Devine who's got to try and get through the murder hole or get towards CT. This is going to be tough on the retake.
Yeah, if Devine falls early right here, which he's not favored to win this duel whatsoever, it is a 2v1. Now, here's one player in CT spawn. That's Josh RT jumping around, but now that they're set up in this pillar, I think it's, that's it. Yeah. Now, Rugrat has virtually no choice but to save that AK-47 unless he... Nah, yeah, he went for the peak. He's like, nah, I need that AK-47. My money's pretty low, so he's going to go ahead and back on out of there. That's a wise decision, and it is Royal tying it up early here. This is a back and forth. This is nuts.
That's unfortunate, too. Rugrat did play the round really nicely, getting in towards Palace, picking up that frag, winning out against Tex. I figured Tex would have him dead to rights, but he manages to catch it, and then finds another kill for his troubles as well. He'll keep the AK alive, adding on a third to his total, but it's sort of a hollow frag there right at the end. And it's going to be a save. So you get the one hero AK with the armor behind it. We'll see if he can have impact with it. He'll toss his gun over, so the 5.7 goes into play as well. But it's going to be a very meager round for iNTACT.
And then the other thing as well is that Bool was actually had the counter to Rico, but somehow lost a duel in the window boost, even though he was holding for it, and that was really unfortunate. But now iNTACT is forced into a save. It's going to be a 5-man stack towards the B side. But you know the law of stacks now, right, Mike?
Law of stacks?
Yeah.
Educate me. Educate me. Lay it down for me.
Wherever you stack, there's a 90% chance the team ends up on the other part of the map. And it always proves to be true.
That's the way it's working here. The question is, can they overwhelm Josh RT? Because that's an op.
That is an op.
There's the hop up. Josh RT knows it's coming. Oh, right in the face. Rugrat down. And they got to throw bodies at that just to try and get him out. He's trying to force out the peak, and Josh RT takes the bait. Okay, so that's an op and an AK now retrievable, now savable. Royal's gonna hunt this, but this is kind of a difficult spot to dig them out of in towards kitchen. So iNTACT, they're just playing babysitter, just trying to keep these guns alive as long as possible. And Bool, okay, gets himself another AK. This is very risky indeed. It's starting to get a little expensive for Royal. Rico's cleaning it up though.
Yeah, I wonder how much they're willing to lose for this. I mean, Royal's bank is not that big that you can just afford to keep hunting for these weapons, and I'm surprised Rico with 15 HP or 19 HP is still going for it.
Ooh, did he just go for the knife? I think he went for the knife.
Yeah, that was. I don't really understand that. Royal doesn't have a lot of money at all, but they seem to be willing to throw away all their cash.
It's a little silly, a little goofy. They allow 2 guns through, including an op, which I don't think iNTACT would have had in this buy regardless.
No, definitely not.
If they didn't say that big green gun through. So that's a head scratcher of a decision there. But Royal are in the lead here, so at the very least they've got that to thank. This is going to be a big test, though. They've given opportunities back to their opponents, an AK and an op. It's a little bit of a lifeline here, and if iNTACT can exploit it, I think Royal are going to be kicking themselves down the line. Oh, that's a ballsy peek from Rugrat right down on the other side of the smoke. He can only find one. The trade is there, though, from Reki. So numbers are equalized, and they're at least punished in towards mid. That's going to slow the bomb down, and Tex being picked up on site. That's massive, and a follow-up. It's all on Zeppa now, who finds himself all on his lonesome with nobody beside him, tucked in towards connector, just trying to figure out where these players have gotten themselves to.
Yeah, and he found the gap, and I don't think Reki's aware of this gap at all. Zeppa is now looking for that other player, and then from the side, he sidelines Reki, and that is a free kill, and he knows exactly where Devine is. He's going to go for the spray, and he finds that as well, and he's tied it all up, and he has control of the bomb, so he could go B. He just has to figure out where Clone is, and Clone doesn't really know where Zeppa is either, so this is weird.
How has he done this? He's pulled it out of thin air. That's a bomb plant for free. A 1v1 out of a 1v3. It was a hopeless situation, and Zeppa just breaks it down into bite-sized pieces and chews them up and spits them out. I mean, 20 seconds. He's got plenty of time to clear this site as well, which is exactly what he's going to do, and it's not going to matter because Clone is so far away, he has no hope of even possibly slowing this down. I mean, what play from Zeppa just to get to this point. Now he has a chance to shut it all down, and oh, he's got the right read as well. He's looking right towards the murder hole. There's the hop around. Clone's going to be jumping over towards Catwalk instead, but Zeppa might have that information. I think he spotted the shins. He certainly will now that the flash blooms. They can just wait for him to come and serve himself on a silver platter.
He's picked up a kid. I don't think this off angle is really hard to predict, but if Zeppa goes for the whip, that might give away his position and intent. And now Clone might actually have an opportunity. Zeppa and Clone in an awkward 1v1, and Clone comes out on top, and what a roller coaster of a round this has been. iNTACT though, securing it, and that's all that matters at the end.
Oh, Zeppa. You looked so good to get it to that 1v1. So good. Get the bomb plant. I mean, still a hopeless situation. He turns a 3v1 with no plant into a 1v1 with a bomb down. Way better than it could have been. But, oh, he had the blindside shot on that last one. Could have made it so clean. Could have won that round, hero play style. And he just can't quite do it. So now iNTACT back in the driver's seat. And again, you do have to trace some of this money trouble to the fact that they committed a bunch of guns to battling out pistols. I mean, Josh Art's on a deagle now. He could have had an up. So maybe some question marks here about 2 rounds ago. That's impacts. That's a domino effect later into the round. But it's going to be a straight A hit. It seems utilities coming out. 2 players coming to join up from the underpass. It's going to be a massacre on the A bomb site.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Royal's throwing away utility from the underpass. That gives away their intent and their positions. And Reki finds a 1-for-1 trade, but Zeppa doubles down on Connector, and that has busted open the A defense and split them all apart. And now they're being picked apart. Tex, Rico all chiming in now, and Clone from Cat able to find 1, but he starts to claw 3 players out of the hole, and that might be too much for 1 man.
Too much for 1 man indeed, especially with the timer on the situation. He's just trying to get in towards market. Is he gonna commit to this? This is actually the same spot that Zeppa was holding last round, so he's gonna chill, see if he can stay alive here, see what he can take into the next. And Royal, it's a nice answer back. They go back to a more simple play, you know, straight execute on towards A. You know what you want to do. Yeah, it gets a little messy in towards mid, but they make it work. They bring it through, and boom, they find themselves their 5th round.
What a messy half. And now iNTACT's economy is not so intact. Will have to be a save unless they go. Can I get a quick check here on the loss bonus? Yes, they are on the 2-round loss bonus. If they full save right here, they can pump out a purchase in the next round. That's not a big deal. Rugrat might even be able to pick up a upgraded weapon, or at least some sort of like pistol, maybe a 5.7 once again. But yeah, this is a tough situation. I think Royal will be taking the 6th round on the board here.
Now, admittedly, last time this situation, this almost identical situation, it was Rugrat with the AK and armor instead. It actually got kind of messy for Royal, right? They gave up 3 players. They gave away an op. It was kind of an awkward situation. We'll see if maybe iNTACT can have that kind of impact again. There's a pause coming through. I'd imagine that is from iNTACT. It is indeed Devine who calls it. So they're figuring out what they want to bring through in this round, and then presumably figuring out what they want to do in next round, more importantly. That's going to be the critical one. So where do you think they stack this time?
Does it matter? I'm just kidding. Of course it matters, but the law of stacks is real. You know what's actually this is really kind of off topic, but sort of in some weird way related.
Okay.
You know when you're walking down the street and you can just like feel somebody watching you, so you look up at a random window in a tall building and that person is watching you? You know what effect I'm talking about? Have you ever experienced that?
You know, I don't generally have that superpower, Roy. I think you might be telepathic.
No, wait, you don't. That's a human instinct. There's been like multiple. Really?
I don't think that happens. Like on the street, yeah, I'll look up and catch the gaze of someone who's looking at me, but not like through a window. I don't have that power. I'm not like, my spidey sense doesn't tingle when someone's staring at me from like a 3rd-story window. But like, yeah, like eye contact on the subway or that kind of thing, definitely.
Yeah, it's, you feel somebody watching you. It's kind of like the same thing in Counter-Strike. You just feel where the stack is.
We can call it the police effect.
I don't know about that.
That song.
Ooh.
I'll be watching you.
Reki's watching him from that headshot angle and Connector, and he's found himself 2 kills. This is getting messy, and it could have been a lot messier. And now Rugrat finds himself an AK-47, and it's down to a 2v2, and Zeppa's wounded. This is a turnaround and a half.
Turnaround and a half, indeed. 2 rifles. That's the bomb dropped on Cat. It's all Zeppa who's wounded. He brought back a 1v3 and a previous to a 1v1. Well, he's gonna have to do more here, and Devine has him at the off angle. There are the shots. iNTACT stealing away around with minimal investment. Take through 2 AKs and a 5-5. Royal are playing these anti-ecos really sloppy. And wow, did they just get punished for it.
Oh, yeah. That was... If there's a god round in this half, it's that one right here. I think iNTACT is very happy with these turnarounds, and Royal's economy is now suffering as a result. They have 2 Deagles and MAC-10, an SG, and an AK-47. Not only that, but they have, what, 2 smokes left? 5 flashbangs? That's it. They have no mauls to clear out Van, no mauls to clear out Bench, or any of the... They can do double smokes. That's it. That's all they got going for them on the B site.
It's going to be interesting. Clone, he's got the angle. It's going to come to fruition now. He just gets a little bit of tag damage and the molly down. But the problem is they've lost Rugrat, the big gun towards Catwalk. Clone, though, standing on strong, gets 3. They're trying to hop around and he's shooting Skeet, just dropping of bodies. But Rico's got a MAC-10 and he's answering back. It's now a 1v2. He's trying to isolate one of the players in towards Market. Knows that he's here. He'll upgrade at least to the rifle, but he's still got to get that bomb down. And Reki's now positioned towards Catwalk, so that should be an easy shot. And there it is. Brings it through. iNTACT survived the test. And the force buy from Royal does not go to plan. That was really well played from Clone on site. He's just pivoting. He's like a turret. He's like the anti-air gun, right? They're just flying out of the apartments at him. It's like, boop, boop.
Yeah, did you catch the Molotov that he threw as well?
That was nice, yeah. Just to keep him, slow him down, make it awkward.
Not only that, but that pretty much eliminated all left pressure, right? He didn't have to worry about people crossing the bench at all. He could just hold that across the site because that was their only passage to try to eliminate him. That was really well played on the spot. I like that. Now, Royal, they have Glocks. That's it, Mike. Just Glocks. Looking to flock over like Flom on the A site. That might be tough, though. No flashbangs, no smokes, and long-range weapons. Oof. I shudder to the sight.
They've got bodies here at the very least. But there's the hop up. Reki finds only 1. Okay. Pool dropped at 1 as well. Okay. That's awkward. Now the op kind of has to back off. This isn't really the gun you want to face down a bunch of Glocks with. They're trying to run him down, and these players have dropped low, but they've got some rifles picked up, and it won't really matter if it's the op. They've got to smack them any which way. Now every player is about 1 bullet of any gun away. Maybe Tex can take 2 if he's feeling lucky. But they're somehow going to get a bomb plant out of this. Okay, Royal. You make it work. I see you.
Yeah, it's really just all timing as well on Royal. Now, Rugrat's picking them apart, of course, his unarmored opponents. Rico's now done, and it's all down to Tex inside the A ramp in a 1 versus 3 against double smokes and double K. I don't think he has this, but he could do more damage, and that's all that matters. But he will not even find that. But a successful eco round nonetheless for Royal.
Yeah, I mean, they make it expensive. They get the bomb plant out of this. Now they're going to have a really good buy into the next. Rico can drop an op if he wants. They can figure out where they want to take this. That's exactly what he's going to do. Presumably going to drop that over to Josh RT. That's what happens. Going to have a bunch of utility to play around with. Royal kind of back in a nice spot, but iNTACT, it has to be said, have recovered very nicely in this half. They're looking rock solid here. And they've got the op out themselves in Devine's hands. He's going to be locking down mid with the big green gun. And it looks like B is once again the object of their desire.
Oh, no, that's off tempo.
Gets easier.
That was so off tempo. Now Josh RT spotted the other player as well. He knows exactly where Rugrat is, and there's really no escape for him. And it's going to be Josh RT squeezing out those kills on the B site. Devine answers back, but it's not a kill yet. And Bool, his position is an awkward duel in the behind, and that flank being eliminated has just secured the fate for iNTACT. And I think this is a save, but I don't think he was going to let them.
No chance there. It's going to be Reki, only player with even a possibility of getting away here, who's wormed his way in towards the courtyard, and no one's really thinking to check this, so he should have an opportunity to stay alive at the very least. That may be all he can ask for. Indeed, it's going to be. He's withdrawing, just trying to stay healthy, trying to keep up that health for the future. You know, it's important. But what a turnaround from Royal. They just come out, they dominate that initial peek in towards apps, they find more, they turn it around in a big way. Ooh, Reki stays alive here. He's buying himself a little bit of space. Can even pick up that AK. That might be an SG, actually. It looks like he wants to stick on the M1. He might survive unless he gets aggressive. Ooh. Not the most favorable of situations. So they will have 1 rifle rolling through here. But it is going to be a save out from iNTACT.
I think this is likely to be an A7. I'm just not entirely sure in what direction it's going to be. I think this round will definitely solidify that fact, as it is the full investment for iNTACT, and if they drop this round, they're essentially broke for the rest of this half. But if they win this one, they have a broken Royal, somewhat of a broken Royal. So I think a 9-6 is possible for iNTACT if they close out this half or this round here. But if they don't, I think it might be Royal squeezing out the lead towards the end. Possible 8-7 here. But a 9-6 CT side is still pretty good, all things considered.
Not bad by any measure. Rugrats tagged down. He's going to be fading back through that catwalk smoke, just trying to get the heck out of dodge. And mid control has been given up once again. iNTACT really haven't been contesting mid too much. They've been favoring a little bit more of a passive play towards it. Now Royal are going to be using that to just set up a just roll out on towards B. Clone somehow not reached by this Molotov at all. They're not going to expect him in the spot, and it doesn't matter because Rugrats found the kills. Now he's up in halves, and Rico has the presence of mind to spot him out. That's a big kill to find because he had bomb right in his lap, and he could have just exploited that to bring it through the rest of the round. It's just going to be Devine, glass cannon AWP, lots of targets to find, and one more round on the half. You got to imagine he's trying to save this off if he can even get out of the spot. And indeed, still sticking around for some pot shots. I don't know that these are terribly well advised, but he's going to do it. And now he's going to put on his Nikes and run as far away as possible.
Yeah, Rico hurt him as well. So, yep, he doesn't get away. That's a big loss right there.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Royal picking up the lead here towards the end of this half. And 8-7 is a really good T-side, though. That's a really good T-side for Royal. I think they're more than happy with that. I am a little bit worried for iNTACT, though. Especially with, we're picking up Rugrat recently, and that's kind of although it is a great pickup, it still kind of, destroys their team chemistry on the T side, right? So ultimately a reset almost. I don't imagine their T side will be as well structured. Now let's see what happens though. Smokes over the A site. Devine up close and personal. The support is there as well. Does Devine get more than one kill here though?
Pulls the trigger early. He's going to find one. Then up close, Josh RT can shotgun off and down. Now the T's are swarming this site. They're dropping bodies. They're dropping guns out of hands as well. It's all going to be onto an SMG and a CZ to try and bring this through. And while we saw Rugrat have a massive round from CT with the SMG previously, he's going to need more. Oh, nearly finds on the Zeppa. There it is. But there's lots of bodies coming his way, and they're just going to face him straight down and win out the duel. Royal claim their 8th. And it is going to be an 8-7 half after a very back and forth affair. Very streaky here on Mirage. And now we've got a very even scoreline headed into the second.
All right, here's the real test now, Mike. Rugrat also at 17-10. That's a pretty good scoreline for the newcomer on the iNTACT roster. Yeah, you know what's crazy is, sorry to cut you off, but what's crazy for the iNTACT score is that they don't really have anybody underperforming. It's like they're all relatively doing well. A little bit different story on the Royal side. Regardless, it is going to be B hit coming in now for iNTACT. There is a bait setup though, and a triple med on the B defense here for iNTACT, or for Royal. This is looking dangerous.
There's the check, though. Rico's still going to find a frag, but he gets traded out immediately and dunked. Zeppa and Josh RT, though, for the death squad on site, and kills need to come out from the iNTACT side if they're going to have any hope here. As I say that, that's exactly what will happen. It's all just B-Will. The man who's struggling a little bit for his team and can't get it done here on the pistol, and it will be tied up right off the back of it. iNTACT claim the first of the second. So the first round, the first half, we saw a pistol round get picked up and then the force buy win it out. This time, Royal are going to force buy right back into it as well, although Josh RT doesn't. He wants to get that off up. So it's going to be the sort of force. Josh RT, the only one who's a little bit hamstrung, no one behind him, but still a lot to work with here. Do you think they can do to iNTACT what was done to them in the first half? Or do you think...
I mean, there's always the possibility, right? And... isolation is like the anti-name of the game, right? If you're isolated as a T-side against an eco or a deco, we should call this one. Eco with an ultimate SMG, right? It's tough. If you get caught off without trade potential, if you start losing map control, or if you show your presence heavily on one side of the map too quickly, it doesn't really end well. But right now, I think iNTACT is all right. They're just applying some of the pressure, but it's ultimately just a passive hold. And this is what I'm talking about. See? A one isolated kill, no trades. This is how a round starts to slip away. Now Tex opting not to maintain his life. Josh RT is also on the flank, Mike. No.
This is gonna get interesting. There's Josh RT coming up. Got one. Only one, though. Rugrat shuts it down. Still, this is getting messy. This is getting expensive. Fortunately for the Intact side, they have claimed the A-bomb site. Utility will go in to secure it as well. And it is going to be Reki holding court. They should just be able to get the heck out of here, group up on A, and escort this round through to a victory. But still, Rico and B-Wills threaten, and Rico does have a kit, so this retake is not out of the other possibility. That's a nice late play into mid, though, from Rugrat. Will catch B-Wills off, and it's a couple of quick frags to avert disaster. So Intact bring it through, and they bring it through with 3. Which that was looking really risky.
I had to take a deep breath there. I was like, wow, this round could break down so easily. I am really surprised to see Tex re-aggress though. I would have just liked to see him just take that kill, you know, wait until Josh RT comes in and pinch upper together, and it might have ended up way better for them. That's just small nuisances though. It's things that will come with time for Royal. But Intact, they are still on track to that double rounds. Actually, it's going to be 3 as well because this is Royal fully saved up. This is a comfortable lead here early on. If they can keep 5 players alive, they will have a lot of economy moving forward, especially if the SMGs get the kills, and it's like they're walking straight into the first one. Oh my god.
Ooh. He walked past Clone. He walked past Clone, and Clone found the second kill on the second player, and it's kind of happening again. This time Clone walks past another, it's getting mopped up. Finally, they take down Clone. He was like a cat living on his like 8th life there. So the bomb's going to be planted. It's B-Wills who might actually get a chance to sort of catch off Devine, do a little bit of damage. He's not going to take advantage of that. And so it will just be B-Wills chilling out towards mid, trying to find a gun, trying to drop somebody and find himself a party favor to carry through. But generally a pretty clean round there for Intact.
SMG lost, no big deal. Pocket change.
It's almost like Clone just moved too fast for them to even shoot him through several of the encounters. Okay, Devine.
He had no idea. He had no idea where B-Wills was. Those are all body shots.
That's like process of elimination. Like, where is he? Oh,
yeah.
Here. Oh, he's boosted up.
Yeah, I can see like the Apple loading symbol in his brain while he tries to figure out where B-Wills was there. But now Royal has the weapons. They have the AUGs. They have the AWP. They have the full utility and 2 kits. This is all that they need for the defense. It's not going to get much better than this.
Oh, Rico had the spot. That smoke blooms at such an inopportune time for him. They've got the SMG to try and get aggressive on towards it, and if the SMGs can just trade out 1-for-1, they will be so very happy. Tex claims first blood, but there's the trade. Oh, he's got more, though. Tex cannot be dug out from the catwalk position. There's still a player out towards Bells. It's such a great setup from the CTs, and they just kind of mop them up as they move into sight. So well defended by Royal. They let the wave of Intact just kind of wash over them, and it is going to be a buy immediately out from Intact in response, but they survived the bonus round pretty effectively.
Yeah, I agreed. Honestly, that was not a bad throwaway round for Intact as well. If they had gotten 1 more kill, I think it would have been just a little bit better, but it's a nice, I like the idea at least. They just wanted to overrun the B site quickly. Oh no, Bull getting spammed through the smoke. That's not good. That's one of the 3 players now completely wounded, and that Molotov is not well placed, but the flashbangs are, and Zeppa's up close and personal, and he could lose his life, or he could find 2 kills.
Okay, Zeppa, there's another one as well. Tax on a third. What a round from Zeppa. Gets aggressive in mid and just keeps finding gold with it. Now Josh RT's got Reki pinned behind a box, and I think he realizes it. He certainly will. And it's all just Devine, the man with utility on his belt, who's got to somehow be able to escort this round through to a round win. A 1v4. Do you fancy his chances here, Roy?
You're making these questions easy for me, Mike. No, I don't fancy that 1 versus 4.
I don't like to stump you. I like to set up the softballs, you know?
I appreciate that. I like a challenge, though, personally. I don't like the easy putter shots, you know?
All right, follow-up question. How many bullets would it have taken him to win that 4v1?
Let me just type in the numbers real quick. 71 bullets, including a 61% mischance.
All right. I like the math. The numbers check out. It all makes sense.
But that was not a good outcome, though. Jokes aside, for Intact, this is a sign of a kind of a worrisome symbol, right? They weren't able to successfully find more than 1 player on a full gun run for both squads. Mid control looked a little bit weak. And it seemed like even the Molotovs, they didn't really know how to throw the molly that gets over the smoke inside of connector. That's not good. Now a timeout is here. Hopefully they're discussing a better plan of attack. It is going to be pistols, maybe some armor here for Devine, who has a lot of money in the bank still, but I don't imagine they'll be picking up much more than that. Maybe a couple sets of smokes to do either a B smoke or an A smokes, and just go for the bomb plan, try to get as much money as possible.
He's got a full nade set. That's something to work with. Maybe get themselves onto a bomb site, secure a plant. That's pretty much what they're looking for here. Close a little bit distance, make the P250s go to work. The Deagles have a little bit of fun as well. So maybe an opportunity here, but it looks like Devine is probably playing decoy. He's headed straight over towards B. He's got the full nade set on his belt, and the rest of his team's just going to hang out to A and chill. First molly out. Smoke gonna follow it in just a moment. He's lining up all of these fake nades just to try and draw a little bit of attention. And to be fair, it's kind of working. Royal have withdrawn a little bit on the A-bomb site to pretty passive angles. And you're seeing that jungle player start to fade back. That's actually 4 players starting to group up right as the hit comes in. This could be the bomb plant secured. B-Wills is forced back in towards CT. They can transition a player up here. But Josh RT's already got the angle from jungle, and this is going to make it very difficult indeed.
Coming out as well, and now the full spray comes out for B-Will, so he mops it up, he cleans it up, and Royal with a flawless eco round, maybe even the first one we've seen in this game so far. And they have achievement unlocked, economy stable, Mike.
I'm looking. That's the first flawless round we have seen. Yeah, you're right. In this game, at all, in any way, shape, or form. We've gotten close. We got a couple 4. We've actually only had 2, 3 rounds with 4 alive. So it's been close. That is the first flawless round. Tech's going to start this off on his road towards more flawlessness with a nice 3K.
Wow.
Okay, and mid, just chew him up, spit him out. I mean, that is just ridiculous. Devine now is alone with the bomb again. This time, at least he's got an op, but I do not envy him the situation. At least he's brought it to a 1v4. Okay, so last time it was 71 bullets for what he would have needed to bring through that 4v1. How many op bullets is he going to need to convert this?
7.
7.
He needs
okay.
7 bullets because he's going to miss a jiggle peek at some point. And if he's going to
Count the
close
shots,
out this
folks.
entire round, it will be 7 op shots to close out the round. He has a smoke and he has armor. He has a minute left on the clock, so he could find these isolated targets who actually are pretty split up. There's one player in the middle right here. Josh RT has no escape. Luckily, he has an AWP. That's 1 op shot right there for 1 kill. That's a pretty good on the path to recovery. But there is a player on the B site, and this is a good site to hit. There's only 1 person here, but he's at an off angle, and this one might be hard to sniff out.
There's the molly, and that's going to send them scurrying on the retake. He's going to hop on the plant immediately. Oh, only 1 bomb shot out. The patience from Rico is just beautiful there to catch him out as soon as he starts to put that C4 down. Unfortunate for Devine, and he's only going to fire 1 of those bullets, so he didn't hit the magic number 7. No chance to take through the round, Roy.
I'm surprised he even made it on a bomb site, to be honest, but Rico played that out well. The obvious choice was him being upper, right? That was the obvious choice. Even Devine had that read, but him playing around the pillars, that's always hard to figure out. Now, Royal, once again, they have been rewarded for their amazing efforts in these gun rounds with another eco, and that is a deco. P250 for Rugrat. And Royal looking to pick up the 13th. Now, they've dropped so many of these rounds. They really can't afford to do that anymore.
Deagles. Been the name of the game. Okay. Just Deagles for days. Bull's going to be pushed out by that molly. He's been spotted as well, trying to take the player off a ticket. He knows exactly where Zeppa is, but Zeppa's going to elevate to get around the spot. And they're just kind of waiting in the crossfire. No reason to force the issue, but Bull will certainly try and do so. Only finds 1 before being mopped up. This should be a relatively clean situation, but okay, there's a kill out from Clone. They've worked their way into connected. This is starting to get awkward. Zeppa's about to get sandwiched. He's got support, though, from CT. And that will keep him clean, at least for a moment. It's expensive for Royal.
Very expensive.
But no plant down for iNTACT.
And luckily for Royal as well, they still have a lot of money, so they're not as hurt by that. But, man, that amount of cash could go away in 1 gun round. So, I mean, Royal really needs to be careful here. Now, iNTACT is going for a bit of a different buy. They're not going for the AWP on Devine, which has been relatively it's kind of been hibernating, right? It's been kind of dormant, the AWP. It hasn't really done much on the T side. It was a lot more effective on the CT side, but he's not having much success with it. Now, it seems like Royal do want to aggress towards the A ramp, or at least play up close and personal. But really the lack of mid pressure here from iNTACT is a massive telltale sign to what their intentions are here.
Rugrat flying out of the smoke at A ramp. He's just pushing forward as well. He's walked right past Zeppa, who is so very blind and now has a lot of targets unsuspecting. Zeppa turns that into 3. Just a blender outside of ramp, and no one checked his spot whatsoever. So he's brought it back to a 2v2, and Rugrat trying to get aggressive through smoke again will turn it into a 1v1. This is madness. That's the second smoke Rugrat has pushed through, and he's turned it into this situation where Devine and Rico are squaring off. And Devine has the elevation. Oh, he hops over. There's the kill. 11th round for iNTACT just by the slimmest of margins, but they will claim it.
Jesus Christ, man.
What chaos.
Yeah, chaos is an understatement at this point. Now, again, we talked about the quickly disappearing cash here for Royal, and that is ultimately the magic trick, right? The CT side just sucks up all the cash when it comes to these buy rounds, and now they've lost their amount of cash, and if they're not careful enough, iNTACT could easily tie this one up. Now, they had success with the A execute, although Zeppa tripled down, even though like 3 players bumped into him in the smoke. I don't know how not a single one of them realized that they're holding W and can't get past the smoke to even call for the attention there. But it's going to be smokes over A. Once again, this time not as much utility or players here to defend against it.
Wills, that's a big one to find out, but he's lost his teammate blind. He'll still convert another. They're not sure. They haven't cleaned him out yet, so finally the trade comes in, and the plant's going to move in as a result, but they have to pull off because the smoke doesn't quite cover the angle. Tex has a gap, and they know that it can be exploited. So that's going to delay this plant for a moment. It's going to allow players to sneak in towards CT, and Reki losing his life going to make this a lot more difficult to see. Now the op is clearing, and Josh RT is on the scene. It's just Devine again, but this time it's not a 1v1. It's a 1v3, and he won't even get started on the first. So 14th round for Royal. They answer right back. They smack iNTACT down in terms of economy, and now they are a stone's throw away from closing out this map.
Now the question is, do they buy or do they save here? This is an important decision. I'm surprised not to see a timeout. What is it with NA teams and not taking timeouts, man? It really bothers me, honestly. They have.
I mean, iNTACT have taken 2 in this game.
Take a third. You have 4.
They definitely could exploit more. Yeah, why not?
Man, this is arguably the most important decision of this game. You can take that in 15 seconds. But B Wills is blowing his hand, and he's showing his hand, and he's giving it all the way. And suddenly, iNTACT comes out with a man advantage here as the trades are successful in middle. Tex is from above. He's throwing whatever utility he can at iNTACT to try to control them and try to equalize up this round. But if he's not careful, he could lose his life as well.
He doesn't realize the player's already gotten past his molly. Rugrat exploits that beautifully. Here's Josh R2, who's got to hold on. He's the lone turret, the op sentinel. And the question is, do they want to test him or do they want to just say, nah, we'll hit the other site? Test is the name of the game, and he'll be able to slip back towards CT. That's going to be a bomb plant all but secure. They're going for the plant on triple. And as it goes down, it's going to be the retake situation. Rico and Josh RT trying to bookend the site and squeeze out the iNTACT players. But this is a really nice answer from iNTACT in what was very much a do-or-die situation. They are doing exactly what they need to do.
And not only that, but they also have a bit of a kind of an X factor setup here, right? They have window control. Rico has an idea this window control is being exerted, but he's not 100% sure yet. And he eventually got his clone, and now it's a lot more doable. They have the kit. They have a smoke for the bomb. They could get this down. Devine spraying through the smoke, finds one, and Rico up and above, exposed. Devine finds a second, and it is iNTACT with the round win. 2 players alive as well, and that mountain of cash, it is all just a tiny little hill now.
This might wind up going the distance, Roy.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can feel it.
Point. Minimal investment into this round. Rico's picking up a 5-7 in armor. Josh RT is going to save up for the AWP. I mean, this is just going to be pretty much safe and for Royal to keep them off of tie point. They don't want to get anywhere near that. They want to close this out in regulation. And who can blame them, because it feels like iNTACT in the last couple of rounds are starting to heat up.
Let's see if they can do something a little bit more dynamically. It seems like they have 2 gears, right? It's like they're in structure mode where they're running the set pieces off spawn, which I call that style like slot machine IGLing, right? You just call around from spawn and you hope for the best. That could end. It works for some teams. There's no doubt about it. But I'd like them to have a bit more of a dynamic play in some of these rounds. I haven't really seen much signs of that for iNTACT on the T side. CT side was a little bit different. Now Reki spotted a little bit of, Josh RT feet, and he's spamming for it. He's not found the kill yet. Now he has, and the pressure is good enough in the middle to keep their attention while the remaining players flood out on the B site. Zeppa tapping away, no kill for him as well, and it's all just mopping up like Mr. Clean here on the B site, and B wills, but he B won't.
The Roomba approach, right? Just suck up all these eco frags, keep them from dirtying the floor, get your bomb nice and planted on that clean floor, and now just try and chase down B wills. And they upgrade away from the UMP, right? So the one player loss is going to be one SMG loss. That's not really a problem. They wouldn't really have liked to bring that gun into the next round.
Yeah, I agree. I think they would replace it regardless.
So hey, iNTACT looking solid here, and they're gonna have a really good chance of bringing us through to 14-14.
Yeah, can I get a loss bonus check here as well for Royal? So they are on the 1 loss bonus as well. I think they save again. I think they just go for a pistol armor in the next round. I think they forfeit this next round, let iNTACT tie it up, and then go for the 50-50 on the 14-14 tie.
I don't know.
Timeout, please, guys. Make important decisions with timeouts. Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
it's
they're
gonna be
go
just
for
the
it.
pistol armor.
It's smart. They can get the double op, full AUG, full utility next round. I like that a lot more than a broken purchase here. Because it would be, so it's either save, buy, or buy, save, buy. So I like the second option a lot more. I like this version a lot more, I think.
Without a doubt. This is going to be dangerous as well. The pistols are right up close. Rugrat gets himself a near haircut. It's not quite enough to convert through. They got a very good idea of Josh RT's spot, but Rugrat will get caught. Still, the kills are stacking up, and they're stacking up against Royal. It's looking like this is going to be an all-right round for iNTACT. The problem is the 2 remaining Deagle players, they are here, and they're ready to ring out shots. So iNTACT has to be a little cautious. They'll slow it right down and just continue to clear methodically. We'll see what Royal can do with those remaining hand cannons.
There's so much utility left as well for iNTACT. I mean, they have Molotov, smoke to block off the spawn once again. So the bomb gets not planted safely. Rico just gets tagged down to 10 HP. And I think their fate is written in stone here. But Bull might lose his life if he's not careful enough. Tex is on the other side. And that's not a player that misses very often.
Not at all. He's going to hop back, though. So he just finds the one, fades back away. That's what you like to see, a little bit more of the reasonable decision. Tex does have armor, so maybe an outside shot of saving it. Now his position is known. He is not long for this world. He somehow does find himself ahead. That's nicely done, but the op's going to be retrieved, so it really shouldn't make a difference to the economy of iNTACT in the slightest. They'll toss that over. They're going to have a buy in this round. They'll have a buy in the next, regardless of what happens. And we are coming down to the wire. We're going the full 30, whatever happens in this round. The question is, who's going to be securing map point?
I mean, Royal has everything they need now. They have the AUGs, which have been working beautifully for them, especially in middle. They have the AWP now. They have no kit, which is very surprising to see at least not one person. I mean, Tex could have just sacrificed one flash for a kit, and I think that would have been a much better purchase for him. But if they get the kills on entry, it won't really matter. But it seems like iNTACT is starting to slowly creep on out, and Rugrat will be the first to lose his life. A little bit careless, and that's actually the bomb showing as well. So that might be Royal over-rotating now.
That is the tip of the hand, but it seems like the commitment out here from iNTACT, and that's perfect timing from B-Wills, comes out from the balcony. That's not really a surprise. He's been playing this all game, so the fact that that's where he comes out of should not have taken anyone off guard. iNTACT now just going to be DeVineTACT. And the man feels like he's been left alone in so many different rounds. He's got to do it all once again. Royal just stands strong on the A-bomb site. The initial pick just sends like a waterfall effect sailing down, and the rounds are stacking up. Devine, though, has other things in mind. He's found the first. He's looking for more. Knows where the second is, but that'll prompt the swing from Tex, and that'll prompt the kill as well. 15-14. Royal have let it slip so very close, but now they would very much like to close it out and not let it go any further.
Yeah, this is like the lack of dynamic play that I said, right? The slot machine IGLing is really just an RNG flip of the coin, right? It works, it doesn't work. Really not much depth with it once it unfolds. I would like to see them kind of utilize mid control a lot more. I think Royal has kind of bullied them out of middle. I think every time iNTACT went out middle, they've been punished for it and lost so many lives that they weren't able to recover the round. And now they're just like, you know what? Our mid control is not developed enough. Let's just avoid middle. But you kind of have no choice but to start taking middle, right? It opens up, opportunity for window plays, opportunity for connector splits, connector lurks, ladder takes, ladder splits, ladder lurks. These are things that you don't have access to otherwise, right? So Let's see what iNTACT does in this final round. This is the 30th. It's either Royal taking the win or iNTACT tying it up. And it seems like once again they're going for that set piece towards the A site. A gamble. Let's see if it pays out.
This is going to be interesting. The op of Josh RT was pushed a little bit further in towards mid-year. It still is as well, so it's not quite the threat from jungle that it was previously. He's on that quick rotate. Here's B-Wills with the first and the second as well. Big shots from B-Wills. He will be dropped, but so much damage has been done. They have been slowed right down. Royal now looking beautiful to close this out. And once again, it's going to be all on Davine, though. That's a quick flick. Okay. 1v2 all the time in the world. This man can reposition to anywhere he'd like. And he's already got 2 kills. 2 notches on his belt. He needs to find 2 more, Roy, and we are coming to the waning moments of this game.
1 versus 2. A smoke, or sorry, a flash, a nade, and he's been smoked out in Palace, so this is tough. No bomb control as well. I think if he kills enough time, he might start to get into their heads and kind of, you know, let the paranoia settle in a little bit. But I think, did they hear a scope?
Scoped in for a while here. I think Rico's just holding this angle. It's all on Davine. Oh, he's got to hard check it. You've got to imagine he's clearing the spots methodically. There's the check, but not the shot. Goes too deep on the swing, and Rico wins it out 16-14, ladies and gentlemen. It all came down to the wire, but in the end, Royal had enough royalty in their blood to close that one out.
And they have 4 players over the 20 kills as well. So they're all firing on all cylinders. A lot of assists on the board as well. Really well played by both squads. I would have liked to see iNTACT play a little bit more dynamically on that T side. It looked a little bit, you know, just like ding, 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 ding. All right, we're hitting A execute. But, I mean, it is a pretty fresh roster. I mean, they just picked up Rugrat as well. So I don't imagine their T sides will be as developed. But Royal looked a little bit sloppy as well. But, I mean, that is the criticism, right? Now let's talk about the positives. High firepower on both teams. Like, I mean, dude, like so many 6 spray transfers that were just like unreally clean. And I played a lot of games in my life, right? But there's something so satisfying about watching a clean spray transfer that is just like beautiful to watch on the eyes. It's so amazing. I love that. But yeah, both these teams look amazing. I'm excited to see how they develop in the future. Again, we're still only in week 4, but these are all Group D matches, and now we were seeing the kind of the streaks for these top teams. You know, Royal, Mythic making their way up the ladders and kind of solidifying their spot in playoffs. So that is the conclusion of the second match. The third match is coming up really shortly. I think we're almost ready to go into that as well, but I don't think it's going to be Cultivate versus the Quest. It should be a really awesome match. Of course, the Quest has just recently made MDL as well, so they're coming off a little bit of a high, and I imagine their firepower will be nuts to watch as well. So stay tuned. Grab some drinks, grab some snacks. The action will resume very shortly. If you haven't done so already, please follow our socials, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, as well as Mike's and mine down below right here on your screens. We will be back in about 5 minutes, guys. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, and the action will resume.